The Over the Bars podcast is brought to you by Donnell's Motorcycles in Independence, Missouri, the Kansas Motocross Championship Series featuring motocross races all across the great state of Kansas. Go to kansasmx.com and bar2barmx.com in Wichita, Kansas. Bar to Bar is having a 2-day motocross race this weekend, September 15th and 16th. Be there. It is the AMA Kansas Motocross State Championship race. Go to bar2barmx.com for more information. See you there. Bye.
Today on Over the Bars podcast, Brendan Yates, Keith KB Bad Ranch Persson, Scott Gabka, and me, Jeff Crutcher. Only on Over the Bars podcast. Let's start the show. Oh yeah, brother.
No, I just pushed record.
Oh, we're going now. We're going now.
We good?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's live.
I thought you.
All
were.
right.
I thought you had to play the intro before.
No.
You could, no. You,
I was
you edited
honestly
it
thinking I was
afterwards.
getting ready to hear it, but
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah.
No, No, I just...
He just magic. He does magic on the other end of
We're
it.
going.
So yeah, this is it. Oh,
Hey,
look
P.
at that. Look at that.
Oh, shall we? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Someone gotta
Let's get her
drop the
done.
I'm not doing what you guys are drinking, but that's fine.
That's nice.
Oh, bush. Yeah, go get it. Get it. Oh,
You know, honestly, I like the taste. I think it's pretty good.
The mango?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're drinking it, and I'm not.
No, I can taste it. It's good.
No, still terrible.
You don't like it?
Yeah.
See, I don't know if I
Never
like
have,
the key
never
lime.
will.
The mango's good. I like that.
Key lime's delicious. It's a...
It's the worst thing ever.
Yeah,
You're
Jeff,
gonna keep drinking it?
he's gonna drink it, but
The mango's better than that pomegranate or whatever it was.
Yeah. So, just going around the table, KP Bad Ranch has made a surprise appearance. He literally did not tell me that he was coming over. I knew he was in town. Then to his left, there's me. To my left, Scott. To his left, Sarah Ball. And then Brandon's friend, Peyton. Peyton, what's your last name? Pope. And
Call
then
him Penelope.
Penelope Pope.
Penelope.
That's right.
And Brandon Yates. So originally, this was just going to be me, Scott, and Brandon. But we got ourselves a fun little podcast today.
Somebody just dropped in.
Yeah.
Incognito.
Unwelcome, really, but I mean, he's here, so it's fine.
So, just as an FYI, yeah, don't worry about that. If you try not to talk over each other. That's all.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that's the only.
Yeah, we ran into
Catch.
that at the beginning of the last one, but it worked itself out.
It always does. Yeah. Peyton, would you pull those blinds just closed so then the cats are a little less of a...
Yeah, so you guys
Nuisance.
listening in,
And
you can't
twist it.
see this, but Jeff's cat is climbing the screen door at the moment.
They just want attention.
They just want to be seen.
He wants in pretty bad,
Yeah.
I think.
Should we give Brandon Yates a little round of applause for being the newest member of the Missouri State Series A class? Oh, yeah,
I can't really clap, so I'll let you guys do it. Yeah.
I was gonna say everybody around here is clapping except for Scott. What's up with that?
Well, I
know?
can't. I just can't do it. The arm doesn't work enough to do it, so it's fine.
Okay, I guess.
I should be wearing a sling right now, but
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice you're out of that.
well, I should
Dang.
be wearing it, but it's in the
How much
passenger
longer
seat.
did you
of my
had on
truck.
that?
Another week.
Another week.
One more week. It'll be
Dang.
6 weeks total. So I go back on the 17th. Supposedly, I don't have to wear it anymore after that, and then I start physical therapy for the next who knows how long.
Now at nighttime, you have to sleep in that too?
Yep, sleeping in a sling with an ice machine deal on my arm and in a recliner for
That's
the last
rough.
6 weeks. It sucks. Like the guys listening in that have had it understand, but it's every bit as bad.
Just wait.
As you can imagine
Just wait
it to
until
be.
you get older, and you have to be one of those people that wears a CPAP machine at night.
I'm hoping I'm not one of those guys, but yeah, I hope not.
You
yeah.
look like the. Kind
I'm
of
probably
guy.
look at the size of this nose. Yeah, it's destiny.
and that big lip's gonna.
Big
I'll have to get
lips.
a custom made mask, man, just to get it to fit in. Oh. But whatever gives me a quality night of sleep, that's really what's important because I'm not getting it now.
Enough about you, Brandon. Let's talk ball hall brawl. I just want to go straight into
Alright,
it.
the brawl. I mean, it was good. Honestly, I went into it. I didn't have any expectations. It was my first big A race. And To be honest, though, I didn't think the turnout this year was as good as it had been in the past. Like, there were still some fast guys there, but to be honest, I mean, I think I had 15 and 13 in my class.
That's the exact feeling I had, just kind of following. Not, I
Really?
didn't go, but obviously following on social media and just trying
Yeah.
to check different things to see what was going on, and people I knew that were up there. It didn't seem like the turnout was half the size as it was.
No,
last
honestly,
year.
I was surprised about that because I went in 2016 whenever I raced in C class, the old C class days, and it was packed. Like almost every single class had qualifiers and stuff for it, and I mean it was a big race. I mean this year there's a lot of people there.
Do you know how many total entries they had?
Shoot, I really don't. I couldn't tell you to be honest, but I mean there's still some fast guys there, but I was a little bit disappointed in the turnout this year. But I mean in a way it's kind of nice since it was my first A class race, bigger race anyways. So, but I was happy with it. We got a ton of rain the whole entire weekend. It basically rained, but that track takes water really good. So, it ended up being a pretty good weekend.
Have you been there, Jeff?
No, I've never been.
Have you, Keith? Me neither. No.
We
So-
talked about going. We
Yeah.
wanted to go, and we never went.
And see,
It's
it used to be like a 5-day event
Yeah,
because when did you get there?
I didn't even practice. I actually missed practice. We got there.
Super late.
That's so A class. It's not even funny.
Yeah. Who needs the practice days anymore? You just
Yeah. No, usually just because you can't make it, so you're skinning
I mean,
by the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I got there and I missed practice. So we got up the next day. I got signed up and everything. And then I figured out we get 2 laps of practice. And then we're going. And I was like, But it turned out all right. So.
Bro, one of my best A races, I got one sight lap at Millville after we drove all night.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't even do any jumps because they were all like
Wheels
Red
on the
Cross.
ground.
Wheels on the ground,
Wait.
one lap.
Was this,
This was
2
in-
years ago?
Well, no.
Is that the one I was at?
No, I did good at that one, but no, this was in 2010. This was like my first year riding A.
Cowies or Hondas?
Hondas.
Hondas.
One Honda. I only had one bike at the time.
Nice.
This is before the Cowies. This is right when I came back to racing. Keith and I did the Cass County Fair, and I had a really good night there. I don't remember how I did or anything, but I knew
Really good?
I made a bunch of money.
Okay.
And so, that's a Tuesday night. Millville was that weekend, and it was like, hey, we made some money. Let's drive to Millville this weekend. Okay, fine. So we left Thursday night after work, drove up all night. Keith drove most of the night. Slept in my truck. It was Keith, my sister, and I. And we got there. It rained all night again, I think, on the way up. And no practice, no nothing. One sight lap. A good thing I've been there before,
Right.
No jumps, anything. And then went out and pulled a whole shot in the first A moto. And what I think I ended up fourth or fifth or
Fourth, I
something.
think,
Now, did you
I led
get
the first
scared?
2 laps. Oh, dude, I
Whenever
was
you got that whole shot, were you like, all right?
other than
Got one side
Millville's
lap.
my number one track. I just seem to always perform well there, even in C class and B class and schoolboy and all that. But so I was comfortable with it. But I was stressing out a little bit. But Keith, he's got a good mentality of getting. He was able to get me in the zone, and so went out and did it. Now I was totally out of shape, probably, so I faded to 5th. But
Probably
I led
listened
the
to
first
Taylor
2
Swift
laps
before you went out.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah,
it always
awesome.
helps to do that. So
This is
That's my
just a question, but have you ever been in shape?
Once, one time when I was younger. It's been, a shape, more of like a pear,
Yeah.
donut.
A pair.
I haven't seen an ab in quite some time, but I've been in shape once before. I don't remember when, but it did happen once.
Yeah. Brandon's cut.
Dude, this
Like
dude
a
is
diamond.
so fit. It's not even fair. When
Yeah.
I found out he was riding A, I kind of got like man,
Disappointed?
yeah, because now I gotta run a little bit more or something,
Yeah.
or do something. I can't just.
Well,
Eat.
fellas,
Yeah, right. I can't even run now, but
I didn't
mean,
know you fellas were checking me out. But
well, dude,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. We keep tabs on the
Appreciate it.
guys coming up. You know,
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. Do you realize you're the only person within 100 miles that's riding the A class under the age of 21?
Really?
Who else is there?
Yeah, honestly, I guess. But see, it's weird because in B class, I felt like I was old.
Yeah.
Like being 20 and in the B class, I felt like I was the oldest dude out there. But yeah, honestly, probably because I was.
But so I think the only other person that's young and riding A would be Michael Hicks,
Yeah.
St. Louis
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. It's weird because everybody that sees me, they probably think I'm 17
Hold
or
your
16.
microphone up to your mouth.
A little more.
Yeah, hold it like this too.
I like this.
Well,
You talk into this spot here.
Okay.
I hold mine like this.
Yeah, his is like that because that mic
Oh.
is specific.
Okay, I got you. All right. Yeah.
But I guess if you count Lance, he's younger, riding
he-
A, but
I mean-
he's like it's a little different category. He doesn't ride locally, is what you're talking
Never,
about.
literally never.
Right, yeah. So,
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, you're the baby boy and you're 20.
yeah, you're the new guy. So get ready to race some men now,
Some
bro.
men,
That's what it is,
yeah.
though.
Yeah, it's kind of like going to prison almost.
I hope it's not that rough. I don't know.
Well,
hope not.
it can be. Wait till you get into the fair races, man.
You gonna
I
learn
know.
today.
Gonna learn today. Whew.
So what was you're riding a 250 in the 450 class at Baja,
Yep.
yeah?
Bone stock. I mean, like me and Scott talked about this the other day. I don't have suspension. I don't have anything done to
You
it.
don't need it. You're riding a white KTM. They're perfect.
See, that's what I tried telling Scott. Scott,
I'm watching him
that's a good-
ride. I beg to differ just slightly.
That's a good topic right
I
there.
think he needs a little something, or he needs somebody to help him dial it in. The guy across the table could probably help you, but
You busy tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a good actor. I have no idea what I'm doing.
A glorified oil change boy.
I put on stickers and
stickers and grips.
Yeah.
That's
Stickers
it.
and grips.
That's it. That's all he does. And most of the time they're crooked and have air bubbles too, but that's fine.
razor marks.
So it was quite a good time for you in the 450 class then.
Yeah, honestly, the start of the very first moto really messed with me. I think I got 10th. I came out, had a good start, but I went down first corner. Me and another guy came into each other. So, but luckily it's 3-moto format at Baja, so that kind of helped me out a little bit. But I think the 450 class, I think I went like 10, 8, 5 for 7th overall. And then the 250 class, I literally went 5, 5, 5 for 5th overall. Talk about consistency.
And that 555, what'd that pay?
Honestly, what did it? It was only like it's like $80.
Less than $100.
Yeah, less
And
than
you
$100.
drove how far?
Not per moto,
was-
but overall.
Overall, yeah. But see, I didn't do the pro-am side of it, which I should have. Looking
What?
back, yeah, I didn't do it.
Hold on. What the hell are you talking about?
What do you mean pro?
Well, I didn't do the pro sport and the open pro sport class. I just did 250A, 450A.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Well, for one, I
Well-
didn't know that wasn't even an option still. Most places that's not an option anymore, but that was a mistake on your part for sure.
Yeah, see, I'm pretty fresh in this. I just started riding my dirt bike not too long ago, so I really, looking back, I regret it. I should have raced it, but at the time, I had to work Tuesday, so I was already going to be getting home super late because we didn't get done racing until like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, and I had to be to work by 7 o'clock on Tuesday, and we got home at like what 5 o'clock in the morning Tuesday morning. Yeah, so it was already late. So like I had thought about racing the classes, but I didn't want to get out of there any later than I already was. So I just decided just to run 250A, 450A, and call it good there.
Okay, what did it cost per entry?
It was $60, I believe.
And what was it for the pro sport classes? Same price?
I think it was 70, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
And and
but
since
they
it's-
pay per moto.
right,
so-
and it's also a $3,000 purse.
Yeah, I messed up.
Yeah. And
I
you-
def-
So here's a little lesson for you, Brandon, from some guys that have been around a little while.
do you think that you would have done the exact same or better? Or I mean, what would do you know? I mean, I'm sure
Basically-
you watched those classes.
Yeah, the same guys that I raced in both the 250 and 450A classes were the same dudes that were in open pro sport and pro sport.
Let me get this right.
So
You want your pro license, and you went to a pro-am, and you rode 250A
that's about right.
for $80.
That's about right.
That's, dude, that's got to chap your ass.
I'm not gonna lie, man. They're a little chapped, and the whole But on the way home, see, like it's weird though because like I'm like pretty fresh to this. I literally just called Nick Peterson yesterday to ask him about how the whole payout thing even works, like what 100% payback is, and all that stuff. Like I really don't know because, I mean, I was in C class 2 years ago, so I was a goon not too
Yeah.
long ago. Still am.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing's
Still-
changed.
Nothing's changed. I'm still throwing some heel clickers and stuff here and there, but I'm a goon. So,
Well, yeah, we all are still.
well, that's good to know.
It doesn't really change. Just you twist the gas a little harder.
But now,
I'm hurt for you.
Like almost shocked, kind of speechless.
Yeah.
right.
I don't know what to say to that.
oh yeah,
That I mean, at least you didn't. I mean, you did. At least you remembered to go up and collect your money.
that is true.
You know, I've done that.
Forgotten it?
Yeah, just got it. I knew I didn't do well, but I think it still paid to whatever, like I 7th or something. And I just left. I'm like, oh, well,
Didn't even
apparently
care
I
at that
didn't
point.
need it that bad. I don't know. I've done that. I forgot.
I knocked myself out at Merwin, and Keith was with me, and he loaded my bike up. And it started raining during the moto. That's why I crashed. I ate the shit big time, knocked myself out. They carried me back to the van.
Yeah, the old van.
Yeah, carried me back to the van. I got undressed, and I kept asking Keith, how'd I do? How'd I do? I was on that weird, I got knocked out
On
cycle.
the repeater.
Yeah. And then as we're leaving, Keith puts the van in drive and starts, I'm like, wait, I forgot to get my money. And he's like, you didn't make any money.
Yeah, it's hard to make it when you're asleep on the side of the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's weird because I remember, like, whenever I was on the side of the track and the medics were going through the, do you know what year it is? And so on and so forth. I mean, like, lightning quick with all that. But it was just like, I just had about a 10-minute reset, where I didn't know the moto. I fell earlier in the moto battling with Malott. I didn't know that until somebody told me that. And it's weird how, like, somebody told me those things, and then I remembered. I was like, oh, yeah, that did happen. But that was a very hard crash. Yeah.
Was that first or second moto?
It was first moto.
It was
We
first
didn't-
moto.
Yeah, we didn't even make it through the full set.
That's right.
I'm still bummed out for this kid over here. That's still
know,
rough. But you know what? You got up there. You got some seat time in. You rode with some fast dudes. You got 5th, which is impressive in its own right for your first A race.
I definitely learned. So literally me and my mom went over like my schedule and everything last night for what I'm going to be doing and kind of like what my plan is. And that's when it really sank in that I should have done it looking back. But I'm gonna do the Texas Winter Series and all that, and they're pro-am, so I'll be able to get some points doing that. So I think I should still be good, but it definitely would have helped. Like, I was already up there. I should have raced it. But, yeah, I got no other comment for that.
So
Hold on. You think there was 15 guys?
In the pro sport and open pro sport, there was more.
Okay, well, let's just go with the ranking of 15 to 24 here.
Okay.
All right, and you got 5th. It takes 60 points to get your pro license. 60
Yep,
points to
60.
get your pro license. That 5th place would have got you 13 points.
Yeah.
which is a huge chunk of points.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
in one go.
Because I went to Sunset Ridge last year for one, and there was a 40 gate rider pro-am, and in the 450A class, 450 Open Pro Sport, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it. And I think I earned a point
A point.
because I crashed and I didn't ride very well, but got beat by Chase Sexton. He
yeah.
beat everyone by over a minute.
Yeah.
And there was 40 dudes out there hammering down. And like I rode, like when I was riding, like I think I crashed one moto, and the next one I rode my ass off, and I think I earned 1 point.
Hold on, this doesn't make any sense.
Are you looking at the chart right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at the race order. There is no Open Pro Sport class in this.
They added them in.
Oh, they're probably
Yeah.
a timed moto. They're probably Open Pro Sport runs at 10
See,
a.m.
they
and
didn't
at
race
1
those.
p.m. or whatever.
Yeah, they added like that, a two-stroke one, and then
Yeah, I definitely should have. We had to be at work on Tuesday because Peyton, I work for his dad. So, like, I'm taking him away from work. And we basically had to be back Tuesday. So, I wouldn't have got out of there that much later. But it would have been later. So, you can hear the cats.
Oh, can you really? Yeah. But okay, so now that you've got that out of the way, big learning
Yeah.
lesson. I think Jeff, did you? He's busy. Anyways, so what are you doing next? So we're coming into September now.
Yep.
What's coming up?
I'll give you the whole rundown.
Oh, here we go.
I've got her
We
dialed.
will know where Brandon is going to be
That's right.
for the rest
So,
of 2018.
Basically, at the end of this month, we got the Hahn Brothers shootout. I'm going to do that one.
Yep.
There's supposed to be a pretty good pay for that. And then I'll be at Ponca. I'll go back down to Georgia, train a little bit, try to get ready for Minios coming up. I'll probably race some of the Gold Cup series and stuff like that while I'm down there. So then we'll hit
Are
Minios.
any of those pro-ams? The Gold Cup races?
I'm not sure.
I'm not
Jeff,
sure.
do you know?
I would imagine some of them.
I think some of them are.
They might all be, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like the Texas Winter Series. I
Yeah.
would imagine they are, but I don't know.
That's something to look up because I'm not sure on that.
I don't know which ones are and which ones aren't. So I've got the, let's see. WW.
Did you pull it up that fast?
Yeah, I'm on it right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's see. WW is only one October 28th. And that's not Gold Cup, it's Florida State.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so for
I would look into them depending on because some of that might change.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said you had a schedule?
That's right.
His schedule, his own
Yeah,
schedule.
no, I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that. Pull that bitch up.
Oh, she's up.
Let me see what you got here.
Alrighty.
Medulla.
I even got it color coordinated.
Damn. All right, so
like
we
that?
got Han Brothers, Ponca, Georgia, Florida races here and there, Mini-O's, Texas Winter Series, Liquid Nitro, Daytona, Freestone, Loretta Lynn qualifiers. Amateur Day Supercross, races to get pro points, maybe some road to Mammoth Series.
Yeah.
Putting some miles on that van, bro.
I know. Oh, White Lightning's. Yeah, she's gonna be getting some miles on her.
All right.
But
So
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what you're doing is wrong. Are
See
you
the-
doing racing next weekend?
no, actually,
oh.
no. I got to go to Illinois next weekend.
Yeah, to Mount Carroll.
No, not exactly.
Uh-oh.
Her name isn't Carol.
Her name's not Carol, but I got.
You're not going to Mount Carroll. I get it.
Yeah, no. I got a homecoming dance I got to go to next weekend. So I got next weekend off. That's other than
Do we
that.
stop this podcast right now, or
All right,
What do we
fuck
do?
it. Yeah, who cares about getting your pro license when you can get pussy? Here. Hold on. Wait. How old's your girlfriend?
Like 14. I don't know. No. She's 18. 18.
All right.
please be 18? Please be 18.
So you've got Sunset Ridge, September 23rd. I'm telling you where you're going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're going to go
It's
there.
a date.
And then October 7th is the AMA Nebraska State Championship at Abbott. That's a Pro-Am.
Did you say that was in October?
You know you're
October
missing
7th.
a pro-am this
Right
next
now.
weekend.
No,
in-
Yeah.
right now.
Well, right now, yeah, but I'm talking next weekend, the
Is
Kansas State race.
Well,
No.
Bar to Bar's not a pro-am?
No.
It was last year.
I know, but it's not.
Okay.
When I see like that one you just listed off, like October and November, I'll be down in Georgia. So that's why, like,
Okay, perfect. When are you leaving?
basically, I'll be down there second week of October.
Oh, okay. Well, great. So you can go to Muddy Creek October 14th.
Yeah. That's why I pit Georgia, Florida races here and there.
Okay, yeah. And then Tallahassee, Alabama, October 27th, Monster Mountain. And then you're going to go to, that's the 27th, which is Saturday. And then you're going to drive back to Florida on Sunday and race at WW. So you're going to be able to hit 3. You could essentially get your points done in 3 races.
Yeah.
But he's going to drive back to Ponca and do that instead.
See, that's
So, anyways,
Nothing like driving 1,000 miles for 100% payback.
it's not a given. It was just on the schedule. It's a thought, basically.
Yeah.
But
so do you know that the 250 points and the 450 points are separate, that you can't add them together? I don't know if you knew that or not. So your 250
I'm
pro
being
sport,
honest,
you didn't know that.
not exactly, but yeah, no, I'm just gonna,
Okay,
I'm
so
just gonna say no.
when you go do these pro-ams or any of the other races, your 250 class points only count towards 250
Okay.
accumulation. Your 450 class points only account towards your 450. Now, either one of them will get your license, but you can't combine. Like if you get 2 first or a first and a third, the points, you only get third place points towards your 450.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then-
okay,
so
yeah.
you
I
can't add
didn't
'em
realize
together.
that. I thought you were talking about something different, but
So man, he isn't.
see, I'm still trying to get it figured out.
I
like
know.
it's a process.
So
it is.
the pro payout at the Liquid Nitro races I'm just going to give you top 5. 500, 300, 200, 150, 125. Now you can race both. Also, I think it's like $80 a class now for pros.
Really?
Yes. All right. And it's extremely competitive. That $500 is going to be the hardest $500 ever made.
And you might break stuff and have to replace it. That costs more than that.
Because there's no AMSOIL Arena Cross Series.
Yeah.
So, sure, there's a lot of races and there's a lot of opportunity to make money. And I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying
It's going to be a challenge.
the risk to reward on these races is very high.
Even much higher than last year.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
much, much higher because of the AMSOIL Arena
Significantly,
Cross
yeah.
not being around anymore.
I just want to at least hit a couple, and maybe it's not even liquid nitro, just some of it, just to get my feet wet in it again. Because it's probably been 2 years since I've raced something like that, just from my last injuries that I've had. But Texas Winter Series is the main thing I'm doing this winter, and but it's only 5 rounds.
Yeah, but
So-
that'll probably be some of the best stuff you can do all
yeah.
year round, because I know when I did the last 2 years ago, I think I did the full Texas Winter Series, and I was legitimately faster when I came back. You
It's
know what
a
I mean?
great
But by the
series.
time
Good
spring
series.
got here and all the other races got here, I was faster just because I did the Texas Winter Series. Now, it was a hard couple of weeks by leaving Friday night after work and then driving back Sunday night. I mean, it made for a couple tough Fridays and Mondays, you know.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
But it was totally worth it.
Now, this is just an arbitrary race that I pulled up. But 250 Pro, Nitro Arena Cross, Tulsa, Marquier, Winter, Taylor, Young, Schlosser, Hicks, Tracy Morgan, Keaton McCallum. That's top 8.
Who are those guys? I'm joking. Yeah, no.
He'll find out, Jeff. He'll find out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
First corner.
And like even, Brandon Herschel and Zach Duran and Custon Border. It is imminent death, like for every position. All right.
I'm getting scared now, Jeff.
So
You should be.
why?
no, I mean I'm not trying to psych you out here.
No,
I'm
it's-
just telling you that like Nitro Arena Cross, other than straight payout, it offers nothing.
Is that your gut?
Wow, dude.
Yeah. I'm hungry. I told
Did you hear
Get the mics
headphones?
on it.
Wow. Yeah, no, I heard
I
that.
didn't know we had a fifth person joining the damn podcast.
But yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, it
Just-
brings up a
it's-
good point. It's a good, yeah.
It'll be good. I mean, it'll be. I don't
biggest
even
thing-
know what I'm trying to say. I
and-
just keep stopping mid
talk
word.
about learning how to go to prison.
Yeah.
Welcome to Arena Cross.
literally, yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's all right. So there you go. Chase Marquier for $500, and no benefit other than just money.
Yep.
But it's funny that I say this because I'm very pro racing. I like it whenever guys race week in and week out. But if you're gonna go into those races, you got to know. Number one, you're the new guy, so you're gonna get bumped around. That's like whenever I started doing arena cross, it's a click, because those guys do it week in and week out. On the back of your jersey is an invisible target.
Because you just showed up to one. Right? That was me. I was
Yeah.
that guy because I only did a couple of them, and I was even guys that I'm tight with.
Get a little
I would
pushy
put
with
Jeff
you.
into the stands, no problem. I would have no problem putting you into the stands.
Yeah.
At an arena cross. Like,
No, that's the
Yeah.
thing.
and
like,
it's just the truth. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can all sit here and be friends, but if we're talking about several $100s, I don't fucking know you.
And that's the reason exactly now why I don't race
Yeah.
arena cross anymore.
You don't-
But
you don't anymore?
No. But I'm
Really?
also 10 years older than you are.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different ballgame. I encourage you to go race the arena cross. Your skill level, your age, what you have the ability to do
Yeah.
it. When I was your age, I was doing them. Keith and I were going all over doing them, and I'm not doing very well at them, but doing them. And I encourage you to go do that. Learn that you need to get that type of weapon in your pocket. You know what I mean? That skill. And I think it will benefit you in the long run
Yeah.
for what you're trying to do moving forward.
And see, I don't necessarily expect to do really good at those, but I feel like my biggest thing right now is being aggressive. And like even on the outdoor stuff, I don't feel like I'm as aggressive. And like you said, in arena cross, you're going to get bumped around, you're going to get pushed around. And I mean, like, you basically have to rise to that level of riding whenever you're put in that situation.
It's a skill to learn to ride with eyes in the back of your head. Because whenever you're racing arena cross, not only are you, wow, Keith, that is loud. You have to race forward, maintain your line, be consistent, and think about the person that's behind you. Not too much, but you do have to know that, there's only one way to pass on an arena cross track. I mean, especially liquid nitro. I mean, it's an amateur track.
Yeah.
So there's one way through, which is a set of keys that you'll have to pick up quickly. And I think you can.
Yeah, it's just going to be a learning experience. And all the laps you do on an arena cross track, practicing, it's going to help you with the riding part, but it's not going to do anything for you on the racing part. And you'll just develop that as you go. I mean, it was something we had to learn. Jesus, Jeff.
I don't
what are you
know.
feeding these cats, man? Or are you not feeding them?
I don't think he's feeding him at all. Yeah. He's trying to eat a bug over here.
Dangerous.
So here's what it's like, all right? Go out and ride 3 laps as absolutely hard as you can at full speed, pull off of the track, and get in a fist fight for about 10 seconds, and then jump back on the track. And that's where your heart rate, and adrenaline level goes.
And then if you do it right, you'll do your race, and then once you get off the track, you'll get into a fist fight in the pits afterwards.
Yeah.
So
And hopefully you win both. That's the goal.
Yeah, then you have bragging rights and cash in your pocket.
Yeah.
Because that's bound to happen as well.
Been there, done that.
Been there.
The last time I got actually the only 3 times I've ever been in a fight were at arena cross.
Hey, those are some of the best fights, though. I mean, you got, like last year, some videos of old Dalton Hole throwing down in the pits, and that's what
like
makes the
C-class
night.
fight.
Exactly.
That is always
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got footage of
Oh,
it.
I'm the one who took the video. It went on butteries.
That is.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll cue that up
Yeah,
later.
we'll add it in.
It doesn't
'cause we
make
can
sense
add
for us to watch it now.
Yeah. You guys should see this.
KP Bad Ranch.
Sir.
Any advice to the up and comer?
Yeah,
I don't
from
know.
the guy living.
You guys have already scared the hell out of him enough. I don't know if I need to say anything more.
I mean, coming from the dude that works with the Supercross champ.
2-time.
Yeah, you guys talk mentality a lot.
Yeah. I think a big piece of advice is gate time.
Hold that mic a little closer to you.
Right there. Good.
Yep.
He's got those little
Get
bird
his-
lips.
Little bird lips.
I'll take some of yours. We can
I
donate.
got plenty to go around.
But no, really, especially coming into A class, gate time as much as you can get, and like the guys are saying, as going into arena cross, if you start doing some of those races, you'll start to learn. Like, I'm going into this corner, I got this guy behind me, he's going here, and I know he's going here, so I'm either going to protect that spot or I'm going to give it up and try to make it up somewhere else, get him back. But you'll develop that as you go on, because you'll find out pretty quick that if you come in to a certain way, you're going to end up in the tough blocks.
Yeah.
But
And you're going to learn the guys you're racing with.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter if
Exactly.
you're in Georgia doing an arena cross, you're at Minneo's riding the Supercross track, whatever you want to call it. That's a fair race track.
Yeah,
or,
basically.
Or you're at the Nitro Arena Cross race. The more you do, the more you're going to learn with those guys, and you'll figure it out. You have the skills, the speed, the racer mentality. You're going to be fine. But you got to follow this learning curve as you go through, and
you start to learn the people and the niche, like the little group, especially in that realm, I guess you could say.
Or I just came up with a really bright idea. Show up and win every time.
I like that idea. I thought about that one, but it seemed a little.
So what you
out
need to
there.
plan on is getting there, pull the whole shot, lead all the laps, and beat everyone to the finish line, and then you're.
think
you're
that's-
good.
that's it.
I think that's
That's-
what you need to do.
I mean, I could add that to my notebook. I probably should add that to my notebook that I
Write
had.
that down on the notes. Show up, win.
I'll
leave.
highlight that one for sure.
That's what the team guys are doing now. Any of the factory guys that are having to go through arena cross, they're doing the bare minimum of getting their points and get out of there. So
Really?
show up, knock it out, get out.
Benny Bloss, whenever he was doing the Carmichael Road to Supercross thing,
Yep.
at his last race, he went to the AMA rep after he qualified into the mains and said, "Do I have to race?" And the guy was like, "You need to get your fucking ass out there because we're not letting you not race." He's like, "If you want to throw the race out on the track, that's fine, but you don't get." And he was genuinely offended.
Really?
I mean,
so he had his points. He didn't need any more.
Well,
That's
it was his last one. He qualified for the main, but he was asking if he had to ride the main or not.
So many. I mean, it's the thing is, so many guys are scared of it now. But I mean, there is that inherent risk there with okay, well, you got the good old boys from Oklahoma and Texas and Kansas that are in racing for money. And now you got this punk kid from California that's got a factory ride and all this nice stuff, and he's only here for a couple of rounds. Well, we're gonna prove a point. Yeah. So
yeah,
I think that's what scares the factory guys so much, is because you've got these guys that have ground it out, and they're talented, no doubt, but they don't have those kind of resources. So they're going to do whatever they can to beat that guy, and that's that's a way for them to showcase their talent.
Yeah, it's almost like a turf protection.
Exactly. Yeah.
See, and one thing, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes this year, since there is no AMSOIL, of who shows up and does what. Because when we were doing AMSOIL Arena Cross, all the dudes winning were ex-Supercross guys.
Yeah.
Dudes that had factory rides before and then didn't make the cut or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Faith.
Tyler Bowers, Gavin Faith,
Faith.
those kind of guys. You know what I mean?
Darcy Lange.
Darcy Lange.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Blows.
Cunningham.
We can just keep going and going.
Yeah.
But so it'll be interesting to see who you line up against. If you're going to line up against a dude that has 2 Supercross wins and he's at the Topeka Arena Cross, you know what I mean, or whatever. Topeka, what's the place out there? Or I don't know.
Topeka Expo Center.
Yeah, that one. It could be that, and that could happen very well. That's the kind of cool part about going to those, is you never know who's going to show up, and a lot of those dudes are just showing up for some cash payout.
Yeah,
and
Liquid Nitro, the payout's getting pretty good. Like they've really grown since they started.
There's enough money for people to go because it's not hard on the bikes. Unless you take an axle block to the
engine case.
Yeah, the engine case. Otherwise, it's not that hard on the bikes. I mean, I know guys that have run the entire Arena Cross season on the same air filter.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, the bikes don't get, unless you have a sand section, the bikes don't get dirty.
Yeah, he's sitting to my left of the table right now, named Jeff Crutcher.
I maintain my bikes.
The one that wouldn't start right in the garage 10 minutes ago?
Listen, I could go out there with barefoot and start it up first kick.
I think we should take a pause.
I think we should
actually
see that.
I'm kidding. I'd have to put a shoe on, but my point is that it's it's like Biff Tannen, but is it Biff Tannen? Only I can start this car. How'd you know how to start that car?
From Back to the Future.
Which Back to the Future is that?
Which one? All of them.
Yeah, Biff was in all of them.
I know
that was the first. That was the first one.
That
was the first one.
The first one. Oh no, you're right.
No. But
anyways,
way over your head, Brandon.
I was gonna say that. I don't know who you're
have
talking
you
about.
ever seen
Biff? What's a Biff?
God, are we that much older? Is it that big of a difference?
I guess.
Do you know who Michael J. Fox is?
I've heard the name.
Look
I'm
at
not
this
gonna lie.
blank stare.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right
This
now. I
blank
don't.
stare.
we're
I
just
don't
aging
watch a whole
ourselves
lot
right
of
now.
TV.
Stop talking.
I don't watch a whole lot of TV.
Do you even
or any of
have
that.
cable down there in Ottawa where you live at?
Scott, I got dirt floors and barn chairs in my
I
house.
believe
all
it.
right?
And an outhouse. You use
That's
an outhouse
right.
when you take a
And
shit.
we got a
right?
bucket actually. It's not even an outhouse. It's rough in the wintertime.
You wipe with a corn cob.
Only when I have to.
Nice.
Anyways, it'll be exciting to see how you do. I would think it would be really cool if the Nitro Series could put up some kind of live feed or something, at least for like the pro
Right.
classes
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
You know, almost even like a Facebook Live. It would be pretty cool if they could do that. Now, it's probably not going to happen, but it would be cool. If
The technology's there for it to be done.
Yeah, it's just making it happen. But considering where most of those races are, the type of buildings and stuff like that they're in, I don't see it happening. But it would be cool if it would.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to really go. I don't think. I mean, I'm not racing obviously because I'm on the couch, but a lot of them I'm not just going to drive to because I'm not racing.
So I'm curious to see, like you said, if the turnout this year will be a lot bigger for the Nitro stuff. You know, being that the AMA stuff isn't going on. anymore.
Absolutely. It will.
So
Okay. Chris Blows, Jacob Hayes, go down the list. Those guys aren't going to be showing up. It's those dudes that are 9th through 12th And there's a lot of that bracket, okay, that are going to start showing up and say, hey, this is where the winner paycheck is at. Guys that have,
And they're guys that can win.
Right.
Yeah. That's right. Because, take the guys that won last year. Okay, Kevin won a bunch last year.
In the lights class.
Well, no, that's at the AMA side, right?
Yeah.
But he would be, I'm thinking Nitro. Who was winning the Nitro stuff?
Oh, okay.
Michael Hicks, the goalie boys, maybe won a couple, I don't know. Bubba, those guys. And they're in the arena cross class at the Amsoil level, a fifth place guy, maybe? 5th to 12th, like you're saying. You know what I mean? Kind of the back end guys. And so it'll be interesting to see who, all those guys can show up and all those guys can win at any point, depending on who gets a whole shot,
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying.
and now you're one of the guys. You're in the club.
hell?
You're in this exclusive club now.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I don't know if I'm up there with those guys, but
Oh no, you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in there or not.
Yeah,
Or if you're up there or not, but you're in now.
welcome to prison.
You are in. That's right. That's right. That is
no
exactly right.
fucking way.
Did you
Crutch
forget to
just
hit
found
record?
something.
No.
Oh,
All right. So I'm looking
that's
at
happening.
That'd be terrible.
I'm looking at Topeka last year. Moran's Winter, Thies goalie, Hicks, James Justice from Ohio. The other goalie, Tanner Young, Zach Williams, Tanner Basso.
I think even Jake Loberg was there. I don't know if he's in the. I don't.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Then
he was
Carter
down a little ways.
Stevenson, Tucker. Yeah, Loberg didn't make it.
Didn't qualify. Right.
Didn't qualify.
Even Tanner Bassett, he's quick.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And he was what?
10th.
10th.
Wow.
So, and the arena cross is a crapshoot every time, but it's just and we're talking arena cross. We're not trying to scare you out of it. We gave
Like,
you a
you
little
never
lesson
know,
on it,
though.
but you have no idea what's going to happen at
Yeah.
any point during the race.
Keith, pop quiz.
Yeah.
What's the key to winning an arena cross race?
Whole shot.
That's all you have to do.
Get a start.
Yep.
Bye. See you never.
That's
it.
100% it. 100%.
Because the odds of winning an arena cross race with a shitty start are slim to none.
Yeah. You have a lot of things fall in your favor. Because then once a lapper, when you start lapping people and that starts coming to play, if you're up there, like say you're in 4th and you're trying to make moves and then you start getting into people and you can't go to the line you want to go to. You can't go to you have to go around.
and then next thing you know, you're in 6th.
Yeah,
or whatever.
and then you're playing follow the leader and you're not going forward. You're just stuck where you're at.
I did one at Topeka. This is when I was still on Suzuki's. I was riding 250F, and
You had a Suzuki 250?
I did for
remember
whenever
those.
it was. This would have been 2015, maybe.
Yeah.
It was the last year I ran any of the arena crosses.
That's when you were going around with
think-
Wygant a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
whenever
that's-
because so I think it was 15
I think it was.
somewhere in it had to be 2015. So, anyways, I think it was the Topeka one. The start went straight down, hooked a 180 turn right into the catapult, which isn't probably the best layout anyways, but it's just the way the track worked out. Every single one of us piled up in the first turn because no one would give anybody room.
I think I was there for that race. And I'm
Literally.
pretty sure I wadded on that first, that catapult jump.
Yeah. But we piled up and nobody made
The
it to the
first corner.
jump in the first turn
Yeah.
because the guy on the inside was like, this is my spot, and the guys on the outside were trying to come around and everybody just T-boned and piled up.
Yeah.
I know I was laying there in between 3 or 4 different bikes and it was just chaos, but nobody restarted it or anything. I think we just got up and went and it was just a disaster.
One of those,
But
everybody's got up, looked around a little bit. and-
Kind of, yeah. Or pulled your
Where's
it was
the red flag?
pulling your bike out and trying to figure it out. But
Hop on the wrong bike and take off.
yeah, the arena cross stuff, man. That's what that's just kind of you never know what's going to happen. Just like you never know who's going to show up. Like what Guthrie Lazy E always has a big one every year.
Here's one for you. Mesquite, Texas, 450 Pro. Sean Hackley, Kyle Riegel, Mitchell Oldenburg, Brandon Glenn, Justin Sipes, John Short, Cheyenne Harmon, me, Justin Kraft, Addison Emery, Josh Hernandez, Brent Ash, Chad Cook, Shelby Peterson, Matt Lemoyne.
Wow.
Matt Lemoyne. He's got Supercross podiums. I don't know if he's won one or not.
Yeah.
Let's say that's a lineup right there.
But there's
That was
8
for
guys
Nitro?
in there that race Supercross. That's a Nitro arena cross.
Really? Dang. Where's that notebook? I think we may scratch that one off the
Hey,
list.
and every one of those guys is 5 years older than you.
Yeah,
And has 100 pounds on you, too.
maybe a feather.
What do you weigh?
I'm a $150.
All I heard was I get hole shots.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That,
Bingo.
yeah.
Yep.
That's
Bingo.
what matters, man. And you'll notice if you're riding a stock bike now, you'll notice when
That's
nobody
what
else
you think,
is.
but we all know those white KTMs are really fast.
She runs pretty good.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at the guy across the table. He's just smiling. But I mean, he's a white KTM advocate, so that's
What's
fine.
your
Whatever.
input? Yeah,
Yeah, you're on the right bike, man.
that's right.
Yeah, race gas.
Yep.
Honestly,
Race gas.
And just get it jetted right.
jet it.
Jet
Yeah,
it.
just get it jetted
Jetted,
right.
yes,
Run race
jetted.
gas. Get some good gearing, and you'll be good.
If I get that red gas cap, that may help out too.
Good.
I have a 53 for you.
What are you talking about?
Sprocket.
Oh, Sprocket. Okay.
Yes. That's
What did you run? Like,
when I was doing arena cross.
yeah,
Well, I was on a 252 stroke, so I'm in it.
a 1451. Is that what you usually ran? Or would you say
I
51 or
have
53?
I have a 53 for you.
Oh, okay.
But I've got 1451, something like that, on my bike permanently.
Oh, okay.
I run a 1350.
Yeah, because the stock on the KTM is 1351.
That's what I run. I went down to a 13 in the front. But is that typical? Is that
1350 is pretty popular. It's pretty,
1350?
but it also depends on obviously it depends on what type of rider you are and where you like the power to hit and how hard,
Yeah.
but 1350 is a pretty solid medium, it seems like.
seemed like stock on those bikes, the 1451 or whatever. Like everywhere you went, second gear is so wrapped out. And then third gear is good. Like on a fast track, it was good. But if you made any mistake, it just no power
exactly,
pulled out. But other than that, it's great.
Through my pipe and silencer and the way I have the bike jetted, and honestly how I run the oil mixture, I have the red spring on the power valve. My bike has a lot of bottom hit through tuning, but then I put the 14 on it, so it's got more top end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because going up one in the front is like going 3 down in the rear, right, Keith? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2.5, 3. Yeah.
I usually just rev it in neutral and hope for the best.
Rev neutral.
Pull the clutch in and rev.
Usually.
Yeah.
Usually I'm just along for the ride, so it doesn't
It
really
does
matter.
sound
Judging by like
fast.
my current condition, so
Yeah, you're good to rev the bike up on the stand
yeah, kind of.
with your left hand.
Left hand, yeah.
Or you can get on the bike, start it because you have electric start.
Right, yeah.
Get off of the bike and then go out and left hand.
There we go. Yeah,
See?
that's the only way my bike's gonna get any hours on it for the next 6 months. So
If you want, I could come spin some laps.
you want to
on
ride
that.
it?
I mean,
it's only got 3 on it, so
3. Wow.
for $7,000 you can do it all you want.
Jeez, what a bargain.
Yeah.
That actually probably is a really good deal with everything I have done to it.
Eric Gardner just sold his
17.
Was it 17? Yeah. He sold his 17 450 that was like, he put all the new shit back on it for $5,800. Okay. So he sold 17 with a Kickstarter that's refreshed with like 40 hours on the bike, $5,800. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
Brand new Suzuki 450s are going out of dealership doors, $5,800.
I know. That
Did
is
you know
crazy.
that, Keith?
No.
Yeah, there's dealers all across the country. You look on Cycle Trader, $5,800, and not $5,800 listed, $5,800 out the door.
It's in your truck at $5,800. You
That
probably
last-
even could get it cheaper.
Probably.
Last time I was down in Georgia, there's a dealership in like Macon, Georgia down there. They had I think it was a 2018 RMZ 450 for $5,600 out the door. $5,600 for a brand new 450.
Leave
Like
it in the
that-
door.
I mean, it's
It makes you want to ride it for that price.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I'll sell my 2-stroke for $5,000.
yeah.
Chad Reed's going to ride one at Australian Supercross, so
I didn't know that.
got to work. I think he's going to ride the Joe Gibbs one there.
I would really like to get a 2-stroke to start. I have one. I just need suspension done bad. It's an 02 YZ250.
That's right.
With some steel frame.
Yeah. It runs great, but man, the suspension on she's
A little plush.
You would really complain about that one, Scott. Yeah. Stock's not
blow
so
right
hot
through
on
it.
that. Yeah. She could use some work, but
Keith, do you guys, okay, so we talked about pull rods. Mm-hmm. Whenever you guys, do you have different pull rods that you use?
Different lengths.
Yeah.
Like we'll try, but usually, preseason testing, we figure out what we're going to stick with.
Yeah.
And then that's what we run.
Okay. So whenever you let's say you go with a longer pull rod, okay, what do you do to the shock then to compensate for the longer pull rod?
It really just depends. I mean, because a lot of times it really depends on the guy. You put a longer rod on, you get more travel. So makes everything a little bit plush, softer in the rear.
Yeah. Found that out the hard way.
You can. I mean, and it really depends. Like with Jason, with JA, he likes to run kind of a soft setup, so he'll probably run a little longer pull rod on his 450. Zach likes to run, more of a bound up suspension, chassis, everything. So you'll run a shorter one and you'll run the shock, a little stiffer.
Really?
So,
See, I put the longer pull rod on my bike and I was running 15 clicks out with my stock one. I put that longer one on and it was like I hit one pebble and I was bottoming out.
Yeah.
So I went all the way in to 8 out, that big of an adjustment. And it surprised me.
Is 15 a lot? To me, that sounds like a lot of clicks.
No,
Whereas I don't know what that shock setting is or how that works, but to me, I feel
they've
like
got quite a bit of adjustment. And
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. I mean, there's times that you guys that are 30 clicks out on high speed or whatever.
15 is halfway. 30 is all the way
Yeah.
out.
Right. Okay. I just wasn't sure how many. I don't think the Honda shock's set up that same way.
Did you like it better with the longer pull rod?
Absolutely. Once
You got the and then the other big thing too is that obviously that changes your sag setting majorly, and that's something that guys that really don't check often. We check every single day because it does change. But that drastically can change your sag setting, and that'll completely upset how the bike handles.
I had 105.
Even after you change it as well.
So I think what it was probably off before, and then I put the longer pull rod on, and then it put it back into service area.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But yeah, anytime you change, even mill, you go from a 149 to a 150.
Yeah.
It's a pretty noticeable change. You can see it when the guys are riding. You can see the rear acting differently just from a 1 mil difference in a pull rod.
Brandon, have you ever swapped pull rods?
I have not.
Do you know what a pull rod is?
I've been over here trying to figure that out since you guys started talking, to be honest.
I was actually wondering that.
Okay. You've got where the shock mounts into the
down
frame,
out of the shock.
and it comes down. Okay, then the shock mounts into the tri-link, pro lever, whatever you want to call it, and then the tri-link goes into the back part of the pull rod, and then that's the long dog bone shape that goes forward into.
Okay.
You're thinking the linkage is what you're thinking.
That's the one
in
that
your
you were
head.
trying to sell there a while back forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
It's I don't know exactly what length is on my 450, but I know it made a huge difference.
Yeah.
I mean, just night and day difference just changing it out.
That is one thing that I really wish I knew more about was suspension.
Dude, all you got to do is go to the track one day with someone that is good at suspension, that can set the bike up, and, pick their fucking brain to no end.
Once again, Keith, what are you doing tomorrow?
He's 4 higher right now.
I'm
He's
curious.
He's off.
I'm on holiday right now.
Holiday? Okay.
So he's charging doubles.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll even take you out to eat, Keith.
But no, that is very true. Like, and as you develop more, getting further on, being in the A class and doing the pro stuff, you'll learn to, all right, I need to make some changes. Like track's changing, conditions are changing, and when you do go to the practice track, don't be afraid to try. Let's screw with the clickers here, go in, do a couple laps, have somebody there with you and just say, hey, go 3 in, go out and do 2 laps.
That is probably the biggest thing, is just don't be afraid to try.
Don't
new.
get so crazy and so out of whack. Find the main thing I tell everyone is, when you're starting from ground zero, work your way and find a medium that you can handle and you can ride, and it's safe and good, and you can still kind of push and do some things, and then massage that from there. But if you ever get problem is guys get so out of sorts. They get all freaked out because, you're changing so much. Always have that happy medium to go back to that, like, okay, I can put it back to this setting and I can go ride it and I'm okay. Because, Because guys will go too far in the left field and too far in the right field, and you're not back in the middle.
Way off.
And what will happen a lot of time is once you start really, like Keith's saying, getting out of whack, then you lose confidence in the bike altogether.
And you just start searching,
right?
And then you don't even know where, like, what's up or down at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you essentially lose gravity, and then at that point, you don't know what to do at all. So it's good to have that baseline setting where you're like, this is, you can always go back to it, and you can bang out your laps, bang out your motos, but then, you've gotten to the point now to where it is time to.
I need to know these things.
Yeah.
And see, I just recently, I'm pretty good about writing everything down. It's like I'll write down what track I'm at, what settings I had it at.
Yep.
So
that's the best thing you can do is take notes. Keep a log. Anytime you changed a clicker or something going into the second moto, write it down. Was it better? Was it worse? How was the track then? Was it dried out? Did they walk? You all, like, if you keep a detailed, like, log of notes, you might go from a race in let's say you're down in Alabama racing like Mill Creek or something, and you get up to Millville and there's similarities or whatever, and you can be like, okay, well, that setting worked here and it looks like it could work. Then you start from there, and then you can kind of work your way out.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, are you still sponsored by Dunlop?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, no, not really. I mean, the whole Hook It thing, but I mean, that's
It's better than nothing, though.
Still Rocky Mountain.
Hell yeah!
It's hard to beat some Rocky Mountain.
I think what you meant to say there was Donnell's
Motorsports.
478-9393.
Everybody give Bart a good old visit.
Yeah.
But
the reason that I ask is because tires are now, the thing is, it's like for the average motocross racer, you show up, you ride your bike, you load it up, you go home, you wash it. That's the end of the day. But now that we're talking about dollars in, dollars out, okay? Every little thing that you can do to be more comfortable on the bike is going to help. Now, however, and this is something that I always try to stress to everyone, is there are going to be times whenever you think, oh, my bike's not working, I can't figure it out. But the truth, man, is you just need to pull your head out of your ass and go ride the fucking dirt bike.
That's more often than not.
And this guy right here,
how many times have I had to tell you that?
5 to 10, and Scott's heard it also. I mean, there are
probably more than 10.
Yeah, there are times whenever you just
get into like a mental funk.
Yeah, and there's nothing you can do but just ride the bike.
Yeah.
And like for me, I know what I like. I know, like, as soon as I buy a bike, I drop the forks all the way down. I loosen up the rear end. Like I like a quick rebound and a soft compression. Yeah. And then forks are not that big of an issue to me. They never have been. That's like, I can run separate function. I can run AER. I can run spring fork, SSS. It doesn't matter. I can work with a fork regardless, as long as I've got a good front tire.
What do you run?
Right. For tires?
Yeah.
Pirelli, the
Pirelli.
MX-32s, yeah. I think that for around here specifically, like the Pirelli Scorpion is like the ultimate Most Date tire.
See, and I run the Dunlop 3S, or was the 32, which
Yeah.
was the 756 before then. I think it's the best tire everywhere for the most part. But they wear out fast, so your bang for your buck, I guess, depends on how you want to measure it, because it's going to stick to the ground.
Yeah.
And it's a noticeable difference, but you have to change them all the time.
I feel like the 33 is better than the 3S used to be, because
The 33 wears better, doesn't grab as well, if that makes sense.
speaking
But
of
that's
tires,
what you're going to deal with. That's what you're going to get now. So
I'm really
that's
curious
what they
about
make.
Hoosier, because I mean they're really,
Yeah.
I know they're a race spec only tire. Like so they're soft, a soft compound.
really?
Yeah, every tire has major give and take. That's like, I've run Dunlop spec tires. I've run Golden spec tires. I've run R-Trax $70 for a pair off of Motorsport tires.
Or the Sedonas. I've ridden those
Sedonas.
before, yeah.
Every single tire is going to do something awesome and every single tire is going to do something that sucks a dick. But you have to figure out by your riding style which one thing works the best for you. That's like those R-Trax tires, and I know this sounds goofy because they're so cheap, but those R-Trax tires for the first 2 rides, for $70, you can't beat them. But because they're cheap Chinese tires, you start to get tire roll. Do you think about tire roll?
Yeah.
Okay, so you start getting that sidewall wear, and then once you lose that, they're great for Craigslist bikes.
Yeah, the cheap tires, I've never really had any good luck with them. I think I ran the Sedonas and some other, just because they were super cheap and I was broke, and you know what I mean? And I needed some tires, and I think I put them on, and it might as well have used this table as tires. Like it didn't, no matter what, I was in the mud, dry, going down all asphalt, whatever it was, like did not work at all. Like, I might as well have just not had tires on and just wheels only. And I've ran a handful of the other ones. The Michelins work pretty well overall, but I think they're a little harder compound. For me, the Dunlops meet my riding style. They're right in the middle, whether it's the 3S or the 33s. I forgot that's what the new ones I'm running right now are the 33s. They're a little bit stiffer compound just because I think they're trying to make them last a little bit longer.
Which they are. They're better.
Right.
They do last longer.
Which I think, in my opinion, for everywhere we're going to go, other than changing out to a mud rear tire or a sand tire, that's probably your best bang. Now, Pirelli, Michelin, who else is another those are your 3 main brands, really. Bridgestone. They all have a tire in the same category, so that's a preference, which you can get a better deal on. Whatever. My faith is in the Dunlops. Yours is in the Pirellis.
Mm-hmm. And the reason I like the Pirellis, really hard sidewall.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, and I don't like the hard sidewall.
And part of it also is my 2-stroke. Like, if I was riding 450s or 250s, I'd run a different tire than what I'm running on that bike.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I've just never really branched out, I guess. I like Dunlop. That's always what I've been on, kind of used. But I just never really have branched out.
The bike you rode Thursday needs tires.
Yeah. Well, see, that bike I rode Thursday, it needs suspension. It needs some tires.
Yeah, absolutely right. I just was picturing it in my head. I was thinking about tires.
I just don't like that bike.
The tire compound and the tire, you need a different tire compound. You need new tires.
See, that was my practice bike, and like I always have fresh tires on the race bike. Practice bike, dude, we'll go to Minios, and I will stock up on some of those tires that everybody throws out. They throw out some good tires at those big races.
I got a garage full of them, man. But I'll tell you what, this last year I've changed tires so much. I've got like just because like every pro level race, everybody else is running new tires, and it's a noticeable difference if you're not running them. Local stuff you can get away with it. I mean, hell, how often do you guys change tires? During the day, midday?
Yeah,
change
sometimes.
Tires?
Yeah. Especially during Supercross. When we're in California, we've gone through like 3 sets of tires a day.
Really? Wow.
And those are the guys you're racing.
Unless you're crushed, you just run the sand tire everywhere. Everywhere you go.
That's true.
Whole shot king.
And I mean, and sometimes you can get away with it and you can make it work. Other times it's you're taking a risk with it. But tires are a noticeable difference across the board, because now that you're in the pro class, no matter where you're at, there's somebody there that has new stuff on, or whatever you want to call it, can win. Everybody on the gate can win the race, and so you want to make sure that you have as much as an advantage.
At least equip yourself the best that you can.
Right, and that's something you'll pick up as you go. I mean, Jeff's been running the pro class since he was 14. I've been running it since 2010, and you've ran one race.
About 2 weeks now.
Yeah, 2 weeks now.
So did you say 16 years?
Yeah, I did. I said 16 years.
16 years. And we raced mini bikes together.
I've been okay. So like I've gone past the halfway, the point of no return in the A class, where I've ridden the A class longer than half of the time that I've been riding dirt bikes, which is crazy to think about. This just dawned on me the other day. I realized that what's today? The 8th. In 16 days, I'm going to be able to go to the races and ride plus 25 and plus 30 only.
And not have to ride with that kid in the A class.
But what's funny, though, is I have zero interest in doing that. Because it's like, thought process that was going through my mind was, I can go and win plus 25. I can go and win plus 30. Okay.
At a local race.
At a local race, yeah. I'm not saying like guaranteed wins every time. I'm just saying it's
Competitive,
there.
yeah.
Right, yeah. Or I can go race the A class and battle and be competitive. And to me, I would rather get my ass handed to me in the A class, but be competitive than pull a whole shot and walk away from Troy Wohlberg in the plus 25 class, you know.
How is the payout in the plus 25? Is it the same as A or is it close?
It's typically just 100%.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Depending on where you go, it's either 100%, 80%, that kind of stuff. It's just all that it is it's an incentive for the guys that have, obviously, the guys that are riding plus 25, been around the sport for a while. It's just a little bit of money, you know, as like a.
It's a little kickback.
Yeah, it's a kickback.
And same thing, like you'll run into like a plus 35 that pays out or a plus 45 or something. Sometimes those will pay. And then if you go to like vet races, they have an ABC for the vet. You're about to lose a charger cord there.
Oh.
Jeff's cat is currently trying to eat the computer
Sprays
charger.
it with water.
Yeah. It works. That one ate this cable before, and whenever he did, $80 out of my pocket.
Really?
I was a little hot about that.
Almost time for a new cat.
Yeah.
Is that when you invested in the water bottle over there, the spray?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, man.
I was going to say, how often are you guys playing with PSI, Keith? On tires, specifically.
Not often, actually.
12 and a half?
12 and a half.
Yeah.
Depending on, outdoors, you run, 12 and a half front, 12 rear.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times Supercross will run actually a little bit lower in the rear and more in the front.
Really?
And is that 250, 450 specific, or is that regardless of what you're running?
It's kind of 250, 450 specific, but it also depends. I mean, that's another thing. What is a guy like? Does he want, a little bit more traction in the rear? You drop a little PSI, you drop, some down, you get a little bit more tire roll, or, you get a little more flex in the rear. But then, you got somebody who wants, feel more back in their hands in the whoops, you run 13 and a half.
Sometimes I go the PSI route before I go to the clickers.
Absolutely.
I'll double check it or make a half pound adjustment or whatever. Sometimes I'll go there first. Before
That's the
I go.
first. That is the first suspension line. Basically, is your tires. And
What's the first thing that touches the ground?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're, let's just theoretically say some kid's dad, you put 15 pounds in the front, and the kid's used to running 12, and he comes off the track, I can't ride this thing. Yeah. It's it's unrideable, and legit, all it is just it's just pressure in the tires.
What gets me, I know so many guys out there, and I'm not going to list any names, but that are fast. They don't go out. Whenever they go out, they don't check tire pressure. They don't check air pressure, nothing. They just get on the bike and ride it.
I was just about to say that. Or guys will check it at home or whatever the night before and put it in their truck, or even before they leave the house, and then not check it when they get to the track.
That is one thing that if I forget and I go up to the gate, I'm freaking out. I'm telling my dad, start running. I need my tire pressure gauge.
So because there are people that have no idea what we're talking about. You will lose or gain air pressure as the ambient air temperature changes, because low temperature air is high pressure. High temperature air is low pressure. So if you're working on the bike Friday night to go ride Saturday and it's 85 degrees outside and you've got 13 pounds in the front tire,
Be totally different.
and then you show up and it's 63 degrees in the morning, well, now you've got significantly less air. Or would it go up?
No, usually it'd go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And along with that, same now, air fork wise. You got to
Yeah.
be checking that every time you go to the track.
And I used to have to with Ken, when I was working for Roxon, we would go do a warm up when we were on the Suzuki and pull him back into the shop and recheck the air forks because they would build pressure. Once they got hot, they would, the pressure would come up and it would feel like a completely different bike. I actually had RCH had made me like what the MotoGP guys do with the tire, warming tires up. They had built wraps that went around my fork tubes. And first thing I would do in the morning when I walked in the shop, I would plug that thing in and I would heat the fork tubes up.
I remember that. Yeah.
To try to get them the temperature. It helped a little bit, but we would still, I mean, there was days that we would change pressure from, in a 10-minute warm up, come in and the pressure would be 5 pounds higher. And that is a significant change.
And wasn't there something you had to do, like remove the bars or something to change?
We at first, we had to but we had to change our system up because it was just unrealistic. Like every time you come in, you got to take the bars off, check. So they made like a special tool that we were able to get. But then, I mean, that was the thing with him at Glen Helen that year when his forks failed. They had made a special release. It was a button on the handlebar, and you would push it, and each time it would let out a PSI of pressure off the fork. And that was when we had, I think we were in I can't remember if it was the SFF stuff or not.
That's some next level shit right there.
But the issue is he took a rock or something, hit it, and it busted the line off, and then all the air went out of the fork. So, that's obviously that situation was, they had to change that after, they can't have that happen. But yeah, it's a thing where, especially with air forks, you got to stay on top of them big time.
Like as Osborne's, do you guys run air still, or do you switch
spring.
it? Do you?
Spring, yeah.
Is that the cone valve stuff, or is it its own works? Can't tell.
Yeah, it's all work stuff, but
It's got cone valve stickers on it.
Right. Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. I know it's kind of funny. We were talking about arena cross. Now we're talking about temperatures changing and stuff. And it made me think of like back in the day, like you'd race Branson or Minios or whatever. Well, Minios didn't really, it would get cold sometimes. But like if you would go to fall races or even wintertime races, arena crosses, everybody takes their bike and warms the motor up. Wah, wah, wah. But nobody warms the suspension up by any means. I remember at Branson in the mornings, or if you always have a morning moto.
Yeah.
At 7, it's muddy, wet. I remember I would ride through the pits the long way around. I would leave early and basically just jump up and down on my bike for 3 minutes as I drove to the gate, basically, to get all of that up and going.
Do you always drive your dirt bike?
Did I say drive?
You said drove.
Well, I'm a little
You got a license for that?
A little
Scott?
silly.
I'm a little silly, yeah. I haven't slept well in the last month and a half, so.
Have you tried Ambien?
I haven't.
I want you to take Ambien so then we can hear stories about you doing shit that you don't remember.
Running down my neighborhood naked or something.
Yeah.
I live too close to it at school, man. I can't have that. I have to move. I can't do that.
Sounds like a good time.
another thing, you talking about warming suspension up, before racing. Another one too that no one really considers is cooling it down. When you're done riding and maybe you got a moto coming up soon, you obviously want it to, you want to get everything to operating temperature, but you don't want it to be over that. And when it's here in most states, summertime, you get 100-degree days and you can't even touch the shock body because it'll, burn yourself. So now that was one of the things that was brought to my attention when I was when I was working for RJ at Monster Cup, and we were just out of the back of a pickup, and we had just got done with practice, and I didn't have an easy up. We had nothing, and I had his bike, and it was in the sun, and I mean it was pretty hot that day. And Brandon from Factory Connection comes over. He's like, "Dude," he's like, "Put the bike in the shade, like." Do what you can. Like, let's get this shock cooled down. Like, they're sitting over there under the awning and they got fans going and that kind of stuff. He's like, he's like, I know you guys are bare minimum right now, but we're literally pouring water on the, on the shock body. And I mean, that's a little excessive, but like you come after a moto and get a fan on your bike, get it cooled down a little bit so it's not sweltering hot, because, it does react different. When it's beyond its operating temperature, and
there are guys that are racing Altas that are taking those misting buckets and spraying the bike down after motos.
I knew we weren't going to get through this podcast without discussing something about an Alta.
Jeff's already got his misting bucket over there too.
That's
Hey,
right.
did you see my text the other day about, Harley gave him all that money or whatever, funded,
Yeah.
and then they pulled it, and
Yeah.
now they're building a electric motorcycle plant or R&D facility in Silicon Valley? It's kind of crazy.
Makes me wonder.
Or in California.
Yeah.
Went and traded, basically bought some technology,
yeah.
and that's about it. Just kind of crazy. I don't know.
So I'm curious, how long till you have one, Jeff?
It is on my mind 24/7. It's like, especially whenever I'm working on my bike that's sitting out there, all that I'm thinking about is, if this fucking thing was electric, I wouldn't be doing this right now.
You plug it into the wall and be done.
Yeah.
Go inside for the
Yeah.
night.
But no, okay, so like it's the battery pack on the Alta is similar to, like Keith is talking about with a shock, how like your shock warms up a lot whenever you ride. Well, same thing with that battery pack, is it warms up. And then whenever you charge it, you ever touch your phone?
hot.
Yeah, it gets hot whenever you charge. So there are guys that are taking these 5-gallon buckets, and then there's a little fan that seals to the top of those 5-gallon buckets that mists. And they just spray it directly onto the battery to help it cool down. Even though the battery is water cooled, it helps from the outside to cool it down, because whenever you're going ride, charge, it doesn't really give it that cycle to where the battery's not doing anything at all. The same thing.
Yeah.
It's very similar to like our regular dirt bike motors. It'd be like,
It has to cool down.
yeah, it'd be like bringing it back to the stand and letting it idle, but until your next moto.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, so you guys, you're on the factory side of things. Do you guys have to take a certain amount of time in between motos? Not necessarily for the rider. Well, maybe for the rider and for the bike, or does that really matter? Does anybody really care during the week? Is it more so just a race day thing?
Obviously the race day thing is so regimented, but us during the week between motos, the guys usually get about the same amount of break as they would between their normal motos. We're generally, it's like, it's an hour. Once they put the bike on the stand, and really it's only about like 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes at times, but we usually do the same regiment as the race, the race weekend. So.
Do you change oil between every ride?
No.
Oh, really?
After every day.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, not between motos.
Yeah.
Unless I'm changing a clutch or something like that.
Yeah. I change mine every day.
Yep.
I ride one day and I change it. I know guys that run oil in those 2-strokes for 5 hours. I'm like,
Yeah.
Do you want the bike to blow up?
What kind of stuff do you run though?
I'm running Valvoline ATF Plus 4 full synthetic.
Okay.
$4.97 a liter at Menards. Just picked some up earlier.
Menards.
I ain't shitting you, dude. You go to AutoZone or O'Reilly and it's like $2 more.
I know so many people that run
Rotella?
Rotella. Yes.
Yeah.
I know tons of guys that run it.
Yep.
Yeah.
This
Huge
is funny
things
because I just went out and visited Chad yesterday out of Area 51.
Dumont Tech, baby.
And we always have a discussion about oil, but he's, you say you change your stuff every day. That's what, that's how we do it. There's guys that say, oh yeah, you can get away with 5 hours. You can
get away with it.
You can get away with 5 hours, but it also depends too. Okay. If it's a weekend warrior, like let's say I was riding and I was just riding every weekend, I'm not changing oil every day. I don't ride the bike hard enough, but you guys, a factory rider or even a B level or an A rider, change it every day.
Yeah.
Well, oil's cheap, man.
Yeah,
Oil
it's
is cheap,
cheap.
no matter
It's
what you're
cheap
buying, no
insurance.
matter what you're
It's-
putting in it. Oil is cheap. I know a lot of times when I'm changing my oil, it's still gold or whatever when it's coming out.
Mine goes in red and comes out just as red as it went in.
Right. It's cheap.
Mine comes out slightly dark. A little bit. I usually go two days, not change it.
See, and the thing is,
I'll never go past that.
for me, on my so like with 2-strokes, the thing is you lose clutch performance a lot faster on a 2-stroke than you do on a 4-stroke. And I'm not a clutch heavy guy, and I notice it. If I ride the bike 2 days in a row, that second day, the main difference is, let's say that I'm riding to the track from the pits, and you know how you blip the throttle as you're going? You do that without pulling the clutch in, and there's a little bit of a delay where that clutch just slips a little as you go. That's where you start to notice, and that's the best way to determine if your clutch is in good condition or not. But the ATF provides far superior clutch protection than. Do you need more tissues, bud?
No, I'm good.
Okay. The ATF provides far superior clutch protection and lubrication, but it loses its viscosity faster. So the oil breaks down, and it doesn't do as good a job lubricating the bottom end of the engine, everything that's in the cases and the power valve and all that shit.
Which is why it's $5 a gallon or whatever.
Precisely,
and you can change it that quick.
Yeah. And so that's the thing is, like, to me, it's worth, obviously, it doesn't matter whether you're buying conventional or synthetic. Stick to one, though. My thing is, once I put one in the bike, that's what broke the bike in. That's what the bike needs to be running for the rest of the life of, ownership of the motorcycle, to me. Because whenever you start playing around with different brands, different types, you can't, you start mixing synthetic and conventional together, and you're going to get who knows what kind of results in the clutch. That's the thing, is it's about the clutch. Now the engine's going to stay lubed. But I think that, for me, for my bike, the way that I ride, ATF Plus 4 is the way to go. And there's a lot of guys that ride two-strokes that do that versus running a 10W40 or 5W30, whatever. But the thing is, you don't have to buy $25 a quart Motor X to get clutch performance.
It's great stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely great stuff. But there is definitely a part of me that agrees with you. But that's the thing is, you're on top of it. Most people that go 5 hours on Rotella,
Right, that, or you got a kid that does 5 hours a night in the backyard on his 85 or something, or you know what I mean. A better quality oil sometimes is a little bit better route to
absolutely.
go. Or if you're burning laps on the same bike every day,
Would you like to do a KP tech tip?
Oh, here we go.
I think that I can
go.
Let's see. I'm pretty sure.
Man, that's been a minute.
I know.
He's all rock star now, so.
I'm trying to think of a good one to touch on.
This could just be the.
We'll just leave. We're gonna leave it at the oil, or.
You can run with whatever you want, and you're gonna get the. Hold on, let me check this. Damn it! Stop! Okay, I'm gonna drop this in. I'm gonna put the headphones on you so you know when to go. Okay. Fuck. Hey, it's your boy DJ Hef 101 coming to you live from the studio. Here we go. Make some motherfucking noise. Yeah, major key alert. You already know it's KP Bad Wrench with the hottest wrenches spinning in the garage. Tell them how it is, KP. I'm so glad that's in there.
Gets me every time.
All right, KP Bad Ranch tech tip. Tell us, hit us with one.
Surprise visit in town. I don't know. Got me on the spot.
There's so many tips.
I know. I got so many tips. We'll go with chain and sprocket maintenance. It's a big one. We're just sitting over here discussing issues with like sprocket bolts getting loose, and I've seen it happen before, and you can lose a rear wheel off of a jump, and that's never a good one. So you have a sprocket get loose, and then waller out a hub, and then a hub breaks, and that's it. That's your race. So keep checking them.
Like I was saying just a little bit ago, very last moto at Loretta's this year, last lap basically. I was riding my new bike. Like, I'm pretty good about checking bolts, doing all that stuff. That's the one thing I did not check was my sprocket bolts. And I came down just off that little inside roller, on the S chicane after the start. Came down, landed hard, big clank, and broke my hub, broke my chain guys off. The sprocket wasn't even on the hub anymore. It totally broke the sprocket in half. I had one lap to go until I could go home.
I've done it. I've had it happen before.
I've seen swing arms get completely destroyed too in a situation like that.
If I'm going to say a tech tip, it would be following off of the sprocket bolt checking thing is get in a regimen, get in a system, and start one and practice it. That's okay. At the track between like at Cahokia, we were parked next to somebody. This guy that I was parked next to would pull off of the track, throw the bike on the stand, and didn't look at it until he was going back out for his next moto. And then me, dude, I'm not tinkering because I'm not a tinkerer, but I am hovering over the bike the entire time, long enough to rest and then jump off the track, rest, and hold on a second, and get a system mount. Now, number one, scrape the bike off. Number two, make sure that there isn't mud or dirt packed into the radiator louvers because dirt's packed in there, hot bike, low performance, okay? Then you start going over axle bolts, pinch bolts, chain adjuster blocks, and then while you're right there, you do, and for me, it's a 13. So for me, I'm using 10s and 13s, just boom, boom, boom. I only need 2 wrenches to essentially go over the entire bike. I might check some plastic once throughout the day, but you can get into that system of just bang, 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 do it and have it done all within 3 minutes. And the thing is, you're going to find shit. A bolt that's come loose, something stripped out, something isn't right, or you've got dirt blockage, or who knows, there's been times I've been at Kingsville and picked up mulch blocks and it been wedged into my chain guide.
Yep.
Now, if I'm not inspecting the bike, I don't see that. Now, what happens whenever that piece of wood shoots through the chain guide and goes in between the chain and the sprocket on the face of the big boy? It's, 2 broken legs and a trip to the hospital.
I was going to say just checking bolt, like you're saying, the complete bike front to back, and you want to do it before you leave for the track, while you're getting your bike ready at the house. If this is mom or dad listening, teach Junior how to do it. You know what I mean? This is just an important thing to double check all of it. I've seen it happen. I've had it happen to me. Seats fall off. You know what I mean?
That's embarrassing.
And yeah, it's embarrassing. It's happened. I mean, I know, and a lot of times I've checked it, and I know I've checked it, and still something will come loose. And I know on the Hondas, the dual exhaust bikes, it's just more extra vibration at where the seat bolt mounts onto. And so that can cause them to come loose and different things like that. But you always want to check it. And the biggest thing is while you're checking the bike front to back or top to bottom, whatever way you want to go, it's allowing you a chance to look at the bike. And you might not know you had a flat tire, but now that you're checking your sprocket bolts, or your spokes.
Or you might not know you only had 6 pounds.
Right, yeah. And so you're going through and you're checking that stuff in between motos. I mean, you're jumping 100 feet, you're skimming whoops, you're doing 50 mile an hour down straightaways and stuff. You don't want something coming off or having an issue, a mechanical issue.
And it's just that comfort of knowing that your bike's good.
Right.
That, I mean, if I don't do that and I'm out on the track, it's in the back of my head the whole entire time. So,
So it's a process you want to go through before you leave the house, when you get to the track, and in between each moto.
I think, like Jeff said too, like regimented. Like get a regiment that you do and stick to it. Like when we come back from a practice, I start from the back of the bike and I work my way forward. So I start with the spokes. I'm looking at brake pads. I'm looking at rear rotor. I'm looking at sprocket. Chain, all that, and I work my way up. And then, once you get through that, you work to the front. And like the last thing I do before we go back out, obviously, start working your way forward. I put fuel on the bike before I go to the front end. So I know there's, and I'm very, that's one of the things that they always laugh at me because I'm always the guy at the track carrying the gas can to the finish line jump to top the bike off. Cause I'm just like fuel anal. I've seen people before that have, forgotten to fill up their bikes and how bad that can turn out.
Well, it's easy to miss something. You can, your rider comes back or you come back and you're excited. I just won, man, this is awesome. I'm super stoked. Or you had a bad moto and you're bummed out and you're,
or you had a bike issue and you're target focused on that one problem, you had a broken head pipe, or you have a broken MIP or something like that, and you're so focused on that one issue, you forget to do, the routine stuff that you need to do, and then you forget something major.
Right.
And then you have a major fuck up.
And there's nothing worse than sitting there and you're prepping up your goggles and you're prepping up a bottle of water, throw your helmet on, and you pull the bike off of the stand, and whenever you drop the bike, you hear a clunk, and then you realize that your subframe bolt is missing. Now, that's a scramble, okay, because subframe bolts are not, like on the KTM, it's a specialty bolt, okay? I have a spare subframe bolt, but if I notice it right at the very last second, part of the problem is that's a bolt that requires Loctite. And you put wet Loctite into a bolt and then go ride.
You might or might not have the bolt when
Right.
you're
Yeah.
And since we have him, KP, here, I want to ask him, one of my biggest things is spokes. Usually, what do you do? Every third spoke, just work your way around the wheel?
Yep, I do every other one, and I work every other one all the way around. And I usually, if you have a loose one, I'll turn it. If it doesn't, click, you do a quarter turn,
Just a
and
quarter.
you do a whole another rotation on the wheel.
Pull
Okay.
that mic over your face whenever you're looking at him. Thanks.
So
Say, I don't know why, but that is the biggest
there's
thing that I have
people
issues with.
that go 1-to-1. They just go 1-1-1-1-1-1-1. I'll go through my routine of skipping, a spoke, and then at the end when I'm done, then I'll go back through and I'll do 1-1-1-1 all the way through.
I always get wheels
but
out of whack.
Everyone has their own way of doing it. I'm just weird like that because that for me that's another one that always worries me is wheels. Having a wheel because I've had wheels break before and had hubs.
Yeah.
Had bearings go bad or had hubs come apart, and that can completely lock up. It locks up everything, and then
So, practice day, you're all right. Now there's different levels of things to do depending on the day. All right. Now let's say practice day, and it's just you and some buds riding at the track, and you short something big time, pull off of the track and check the wheels. If it's prep practice day and you don't have a lot of time, pull off the side of the track, look at the wheel. You want to talk about wheels. Quick way to blow out a wheel is by having one loose spoke. It starts with one loose spoke.
You just got to land on that spot once.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's the same thing. Like we talked about helmets before. You smack your head on the ground and you have a soft spot in that helmet. Okay. You may not have knocked you out, but the foam's dented. Same thing with a wheel. Once that wheel takes one impact, okay, with a loose spoke, then it could be, really quickly.
you get a flat spot and you keep riding it and you don't know it and you get a crack and then next thing you know, done deal.
My front wheel has a pretty big flat spot on the left side.
I've got quite a few on my bikes.
But the spoke's tight. Okay. Like I maintain it. It's every single time that I ride, I have to check that wheel to make sure.
I say once you get a flat spot though, then the spokes come loose easier. Yeah, or more.
And then they also come loose across from the flat spot on the other side of the wheel, and then it'll start working its way out through the whole wheel, and then you just, then you're on borrowed time.
Yeah, and then it's like riding with a Tusk wheel.
Yeah.
I run a set of Tusk wheels.
I got a
Complete set.
He's got a set on the bike you rode Thursday.
That's right.
Yeah. I think they're awesome.
No, I said Tusk. I meant to say Warp 9.
Oh, okay.
Now you're talking.
My
which
bad.
I think is like double the price of a set of Tusk and not near as good.
No, I guess
At
the
least
Warp
from
9s.
my experience.
Allegedly, the Warp 9s are heavy junk.
The Tusk has been all right so far.
Man, I had a couple where I broke some spokes and stuff, but I had one set on my Suzuki went through 2 bikes. So, and no
Tusk?
issues there of Tusk wheels. Yeah.
I will say
I've had to
that
change wheel bearings, but
When I first got my Tusk, and it was on the front wheels, literally like second ride, the end of the nipple, or like on the hub part, pulled through on the
wow.
Tusk. Yeah, on the wheel.
Never seen that before.
No.
Like they sent me a whole new one, but it was literally like second ride. Like all the spokes and everything were tight. I don't know if it was too tight or what, but it actually pulled it through the hub.
But they come
that's
pre-assembled tight, right?
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
full
but I-
built.
They're
Yeah.
built ready to go. Yeah.
And that can happen with any wheel. Your
Probably
best
just,
ones is probably your stock wheels. Other than if you're spending $1,000 or more on a set of wheels or something, but your stock wheels, your stock spokes are good stuff.
Yeah.
Most of the time. I think the KTMs and Huskies are oversized, aren't they? They used to be. They used to have.
Everybody comes stock with 270 now on the front. Are you talking about? What are you
No,
talking
I'm
about?
talking
No,
spokes. They had
the
the KTMs used to be like a
it's-
grade above Honda
it's-
KTM or Honda
Yeah.
Suzuki. Everybody
Yeah.
else's
They're
wheels.
6
I don't know if they still are.
They're
or not.
6 millimeters.
Yeah.
what stock ones are. So you can use a 6mm wrench.
Well, there you
And
go.
even too, to say, if you have some broken or you break a spoke, we'll just replace them. If I have like a broken spoke, I'll inspect the wheel very well. But if there's nothing going on, you just take that spoke out, put in,
Slide a new one in.
slide a new one in, and then tighten it, tighten the nipple up, and you're good to go. But keep an eye. And a lot of times, if I do have one, that I've broke, and it seems like a lot of times too, where you'll see most of your spokes get loose is right around the rim lock.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I've seen, like, if I break one and I'll fix it and change it out, and then the next ride I'll have another broken one.
Yep.
And it's usually probably because things are a little out of round or
Exactly.
whatever.
Yep. I usually, if I have one that breaks, I'll mark the nipple with a permanent marker or with a paint pen.
You can mark my nipple.
That's been done before.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Scott, I know you said you wanted to leave at 2:00, and it's 2:08 now. But before you do, just out of the good old times, we're gonna drop in the Innovative MX commercial
For a rider tip of the
for a
week or
rider
something.
tip.
Isn't that what it was?
Ready for that?
Yeah, man. We've covered so many already.
Okay, now pause.
Hailing from the eastern Kansas City suburb of Green Valley, on the Innovative MX training number 308 Donnell Suzuki, Scott Gabkin.
So I'm bringing in rider tip of the week. I didn't know the music was going to keep playing, so that's why I was
yeah,
waiting
it's in
for it
there.
to end on the other ones, but I forgot that it's background music. Rider tip of the week. The biggest thing that I want to talk about right now is going to be line selection. Brandon is on the show. We talked a lot about it on Thursday when he came out.
We
and
sure
rode with
did.
me. And a big part of it is what I want to talk about is finding the other line. Jeff is one of the best guys in the business locally that I know that can do it. And I don't know if I've covered this before or not on here. I doubt it. But the biggest thing you can do to find the other line is make sure you're looking up. Eyes up, looking down the track, trying to figure out what your next move is. A lot of times the track's going to develop during the day. It gets rough. The bumps change and go across the track. And you got to find somewhere to pass or where you can gain a little bit of time on somebody. So the biggest thing I can say there is find the other line, whether you do it in practice, in your moto, but you want to practice it when you're riding during the week or on a practice day, just so you can try to give yourself a little bit of an advantage. Sweeping turns, cutting up, cutting down, that kind of thing. Everybody practices it, and that's one thing you need to focus on. At least everybody at the pro level practices it. So Brandon and I discussed it a bunch, was just to change the way you sweep in and out of the turns, find a little edge here and there, because no matter what, you're going to pass somebody, whether you get a shitty start or you're coming up to lappers or whatever it is, you got somebody slower in front of you. You want to be able to give yourself another line, another direction to go. Just based on giving yourself where you're looking up and you can see something else on the track. Sometimes you find a faster line. Sometimes you find a just better place to go. You miss the mud hole. You can miss the big hole, that kind of thing. And so you want to make sure you keep an eye out for that. So looking up, finding the other line, and just being creative is going to be my rider tip.
I was just getting ready to say creativity. Keep it, keep it that way. Keep your options open.
I like to do this thing whenever we do. So, like, whenever we did the mega camp, all right, I had every single time that a new group of riders would come around, before we even started doing shit, I'd be like, here's what I want you guys to do is look 5 feet in front of your fender. And then I'd hold up my hand above my head and say, how many fingers am I holding up? And they'd all have to look up to see how many fingers I'm holding up. And so for like the people that are listening right now, if you take your hand and put it over your the top of your eyes, like you have sunlight coming in,
like you're doing a salute.
Yes, exactly. So you're doing a salute, and then you take your hand and then you look down to about 10 foot in front of you. If you're inside, you can't see the wall in front of you. Well, now imagine doing that at 35 mile an hour with braking bumps, jumps, roost, all that shit happening in front of you. If you're looking directly in front of you, you're going where the bike is going, not the other way around. You want the bike to go where you're going.
You're reacting instead of acting.
Yeah, or proactive. Would it be?
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. So, that's like bad habit number one is not looking far enough ahead. That is easily one of the biggest game changers in bad riding technique.
And once you get it, and you'll hear me yell at kids at training, whatever, riders, whoever you want to say, you'll hear me say it 100 times an hour per training session. But once you get it and you nail it down, everything changes. You can see it. You see where you're going instead of where you are, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you're looking up, it really does slow everything down. And another one of my favorite examples, just about like yours, but almost every trainer I've been to in the past, they've always brought up, like they'll say, all right, look down, like towards your front fender, and they'll pick up a piece of dirt and throw it at you. And like it's hard, like it feels like it's coming at you at 1,000 miles an hour. And they'll say, all right, now look up, and I'm going to throw it at you. And it's like night and day difference how much slower it comes at you.
Yeah.
Like when you're looking down, you're freaking out because you don't know where it's going to go.
Yep.
The same as on the track. You're looking up, you can see those lines, you can see those, new things popping up that you wouldn't if you're looking down.
And that's like how Scott said that, that's one of my, I don't have a lot of tools in my bag left, that I can exercise as far as like raw speed or that kind of shit. But I have those base techniques. That's like whenever I'm doing good strictly off of technique, not off of, flashes of excellence. It's just been there, done that, know what to do in this situation. Some call that racecraft. That's a really trendy way to say it. But to me, it's base techniques. If you have the base techniques down, everything else comes a lot easier. So with that, line selection comes a lot easier. And as you build up your repertoire of things to do out on the track, of changing lines, finding new lines, it gets easier. Once you try something out of the main line one time, everywhere else on the track and the next track and the next track after that becomes easier to figure out, how do I get through this?
And one way that I've helped relay it to riders I've worked with, or even to myself, maybe this is a big part to myself.
Do you grab them by the front of the helmet and scream at them in the face?
No, I throw
Do the
things at them.
Colleen
No, I absolutely don't do any of that. That's what I bring you in for at the Mega Camp. No, what I do is I'll tell you, just say it to yourself over and over and over. If I've been off the bike for a long time, like when I come back to riding, I'm going to have a bunch of bad habits, looking down, just kind of all over the place. And especially for younger guys or whatever, if just as you're going around the track and you're having, you're coming into turn, look up, look up, look up, say it to yourself over and over and over, and you'll just automatically start doing it. At lap by lap, it will get better because you'll just program yourself to do it. Yeah. And the other part is, once you do it and you see it and you see the difference and you feel the difference, it's like, why was I not doing this before?
Yeah.
And it is so easy once you get out on the track to just totally go blank and not think about any of that stuff. Like
because you're too busy trying to chase a guy down or run away.
Yeah, you're
or
too busy racing.
So if you can practice preaching it to yourself, saying it all the time, it's,
There's this thing that I do, and I know this is such a silly thing, but there are times whenever I'll be out riding and I'll think, and this is just because him and I have been racing together since 1995, but I'll think, how fast would Jimmy go through this corner? And then I'll realize faster than me, because he's a better rider than me. And then be like, okay, that means if Jimmy can do it, again, because we were knee high to a grasshopper when we started racing, he can do it, I can do it. Okay. And then sure enough, my lap times drop down, just by thinking about if someone else was doing this, can they do it better than me? Yes, then that means I can do it.
And Jimmy's one of those guys that has technique hammered into his brain, over the years of working with Shannon and then doing it their own thing, you know, and just practicing it over and over and over has allowed him to it's second nature. It's like walking.
Boys, I'm done. I'm done with this. You done with it? Ready?
Sure. Good.
Yeah.
Yates.
Wrap it up.
yes, sir.
What?
You're on it. You're already going. I think you're going where I was going to go.
I was just going to say drop your sponsors.
Drop them?
Yeah.
Well, let's just get started first and foremost with Jeff Crutcher over here. All right. Best decals in the biz.
I forget that I'm one of your sponsors.
Yep. And then here recently, Nelson Eddie's really helped me out with Nelson Eddie Construction. Chris Zieber, and he's got a great track to go and spend some laps at. He's been helping me. Some of the other big ones like Donnell's, Bart, they've been great with me in the past. 6D, Macheribus. I don't know, there's a whole list, but I mean, those are the main ones that really helped me out and helped me get to the races. So,
Scott, what is that? What you want?
That's exactly what I was going to ask him to do. Who's helping him out? And he just nailed it.
nice.
and my mom and dad, of course.
There you go.
There it
Of
is.
course.
There you go.
Yep.
You know, I might be able to name your sponsors better than you can because I have to look at those fucking logos so much whenever I'm doing your stickers.
Let's be on the spot, Jeff. Let's see this.
Well, you didn't say text interactions. Okay.
Either way, he didn't say it.
Yeah. And you also didn't drop Yates Dairy.
Well,
And most importantly, key, large, Great Life Fitness.
hey, that is a good one. I did miss that.
I think there's two people in this room you missed as well.
Peyton Pope, old Penelope, and Sarah Ball. That's right. I'm sorry. You can't
He'll get better at that.
put me on the
I
spot.
mean, all that
I've
winning
been
you did in
out
the
for the
C class, all that C class winning you did, all that camera time. I
I
thought
took
you
about
would
a
have this
2-year
figured out by
break,
now.
though. So
Now we're going to start getting podiums again.
that's right.
Yeah.
And we'll be expecting a cut of that because we're the senior members of the A class. So
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
part of the deal. You got to pay to play.
Yeah.
So
Man, I'm learning something every time now.
Union dues.
I didn't even know about that.
yeah, union dues. He can get his name on a sticker, maybe.
Okay. I'm just going to say this. There was a race that I went to recently where the promoter did not have the money cut up for the pro class, and I had gotten third in one of the classes that day. And I went into the area and I'm like, hey, can I get my envelope? And the guy's like, oh, we haven't even cut the money up yet. I said, well, do you need help with that? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I'd love to help you. I know what percentage breakdown, so on and so forth. And I started dropping all these official terms and shit. And then I'm going on about, percentage and first place, X amount, so on and so forth. And then I sat down, I started counting out bills. They gave me the fucking green light to give myself extra money.
I say, did you just take the whole purse?
No, I didn't.
$3,000 purse.
But
go
I'll
to
tell you
third
this
place?
much: the difference between first, second, and third was next to minimal.
4, 5, and 6 didn't get anything, but 1, 2, 3 got some.
That's right, real top heavy. All right,
Keith,
cool.
do you have anything to add for your guest appearance? You just showed
No,
up.
I think we're pretty much covered. I mean, you boys pretty much ran the rookie here through cell block D, so he's pretty well educated.
I'm leaving here scared.
And
All
we're
right.
just getting started.
That's right, boy.
No,
Wait till he gets on the track.
He already has. Listen, he's raced with guys that
I
are
know
far
when he
better
beat
than we
you
are.
already.
Yeah,
He did have bike problems, though.
I did have bike problems. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
I'm hurt. I'm out.
Yeah.
I got an excuse. And then I got to ride plus 30 after this, so whatever.
Do you turn 30 in January? Mm-hmm. Nice.
So you can do A after that, or you just can do plus 30?
Dude, I don't even know when
What's-
I'm getting on a motorcycle
Dude,
again, so
do you
we'll
realize-
worry
okay,
about
like-
that later.
If the Cahokia State race was next month, I could have rode 5 classes.
It's like being 15 again.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for listening to OTB. Check us out. Check out our sponsors. Our Instagram is over.the.bars. And go to Sarah Ball's Instagram page, which is Sarah underscore ball 15. Yeah. Boom. I know what's up. So check her out. Give her a follow. Check out her shit. And
Next weekend,
well,
Kansas.
yeah. I'm gonna after you guys leave, I'm gonna cut in commercials and start those at the beginning. So
bar to bar.
yeah,
Kansas.
bar to bar. B2B.
AMA race.
Okay,
Go-
cool.
go
Thanks for
Chuck.
listening to OTB. Bye bye.